Hi, I am Izuna and welcome to Automation Lab Studio, a place to learn anything from beginner to pro. So in this tutorial, we will basically cover three things. The first is what n8n is, the second one is why automation matters, and lastly, we will learn about the basics and everything you need to understand before building your first workflow. So what you should be expecting in this series is you will learn what n8n is and why it matters. So in the second episode, we learn how to set up our n8n account. You can either decide to run it on the cloud version or you can host it on your machine. So in episode 3, we learn about triggers. So triggers are basically what starts the workflow and where to use which. So in the next one will be episode 4. We learn about actions. So we learn how to connect apps together. So the 5th should be logic. These are very important if you are creating complex workflows. So in logic, we have different nodes. We have the if node, we have switches, we have the filters. So in episode 6, we will learn about data transformation. So we will learn how to clean and transform information. So in episode 7, we will learn how to connect external apps like your Gmail, your Slack, your Google Sheet, Facebook, Telegram, you name it. So in episode 8, we will learn about webhooks and APIs. So how to listen and talk to any app. In episode 9, we learn about error handling. So we learn retries, alerts, and safe automations. In episode 10, we learn about how to organize and scale our workflows. So basically how to build like a professional workflows that we will see. So okay, let's imagine this scenario. So what if you had an assistant who works 24/7? The assistant operates tirelessly around the clock without ever needing a break. What if you have somebody that never makes mistakes, follows predefined rules precisely, ensuring accuracy every time? Somebody who costs $0 per extra task, so it incurs no additional cost for each new task it undertakes. So it learns new tools instantly, adapts to and integrates with any system or application you introduce. Imagine if you have an assistant who can do all these things. So the next is why we need automation. So I believe the reason why some of you are here is because you know the importance of automation already. So let's list some of them out. So the first one is wasted time. So the first one is wasted time. Manual work consumes valuable time and energy that can be better spent elsewhere. So instead of your team wasting time doing repetitive jobs or tasks that can be done by a software, if you keep doing it manually, you see that your competition will be more efficient than you and maybe even be more profitable than you. So the next is errors in repetitive tasks. So monotonous tasks are highly susceptible to man error, leading to inconsistencies and rework. So when you keep doing one task over and over again, you find out that you make a lot of mistakes along the line, and this could have large consequences in some situations. So the next one is the financial impact. Businesses often enter financial decay when relying heavily on manual processes. So when businesses doesn't automate some of their work, you find out that they might miss some of opportunities, and that makes them to lose money. So a real world example of this is manually copying customer emails from Gmail into Excel spreadsheet. So you can imagine that can be tedious and time consuming when you keep copying and pasting thousands of emails. So that could be a lot of work, and it's, to be honest, very boring. So the next is prone to errors. A missed email could mean a lost opportunity. Unproductive, better time could be spent elsewhere. So when you don't automate some of your jobs, you find out that when individuals are confined to robot jobs, their potential for creative problem solving and strategic thinking decreases. So what does automation give us? It gives us our time back. It frees up significant human time, allowing individuals and teams to focus on higher value activities and strategic initiatives. The next is consistency. Automated processes follow predefined rules precisely, ensuring that tasks are performed with the same accuracy and quality every time. So when you automate a workflow, you are sure that the result should be the same every time. So better return on interest. So tasks are completed faster and with fewer mistakes, directly contributing to improved efficiency and a higher return on investment. So focus shifts. Automation allows human workers to pivot from routine, from routine jobs to more creative, analytical, and strategic roles. So when particular tasks could be automated, you find out that your team have time to engage in other productive jobs. So with all this, let's now see what automation is. So what is automation? Automation is a predictable set of steps, a sequence that moves data from point A to point B without requiring human effort or with little human effort. So example of an automation is a form submission workflow. So form submission could be a Google form or your website form or any form at all. So that serves as a trigger. So when the form is submitted, it is processed. The lead type or anything you say there is processed, and after that the information is routed based on the conditions. So after that, an email is sent out, or the details of the person that filled the form is saved in Google Sheet, or your sales team could be alerted on Slack. So everyday examples of automation. So students can automate the sorting of PDF documents into subject-specific folders, streamlining organizations. So there are so many ways students could use automation. They can do a lot with automation. They can organize their PDFs, they can set reminders, they can generate quiz automatically. So the next set of people is creators. Creators can leverage automation to auto-generate captions for Instagram posts, saving time and ensuring consistency. So nowadays, automation have gone a very long way. So creators use automation to do a lot of things. You can now even create a full video and generate caption and auto-publish to different platforms all at once, even without you being there. So the next is businesses. Businesses can automate the sending of invoices and corresponding Slack alerts, improving financial operations and communication. So there are several ways businesses can use automation. So imagine a restaurant whereby a customer books food, makes an order, then the chef is immediately alerted, and also a confirmation SMS is sent back to the customer telling him that his food is being processed. Or another scenario is a shop When you buy something from a shop, they automatically send you an email. Your details are automatically saved in Google Sheets. And also, the inventory is automatically updated or without human interaction. So you can automate your life, you can set reminders, you can automatically send email and a lot of things using n8n. So here it is required to choose over others. So the first one is open source and self-hostable. Source available nature allows users to inspect, modify, and self-host the software. Ideal for organizations with strict data privacy and compliance requirements. So here in n8n, you can host n8n. In n8n, you can host it locally on your machine and you can run it free of charge. You don't have to worry about anything happening to your data. While in others, it is closed source and vendor locked. Proprietary systems that lock you in, preventing inspection or modification. Data privacy can be sacrificed for convenience. So here we don't have much of a say on what happens to your data. Beginner in n8n, we have beginner friendly UI. So it is visual node based editor that intuitive for designing workflows through drag and drop. It simplifies creation of both simple and complex automations. So in n8n, you don't have to be technical. As far as you know how to drag and drop items, you are good to go. Also, n8n has an inbuilt assistant that is ready to help you whenever you are stuck, and it is completely free of charge. So, and you can build complex workflows using n8n. You can build literally almost anything using n8n. So complex code-based interfaces requires technical expertise to create and modify workflows, making automation inaccessible to technical users. So in other platforms, if you are not technical enough, you might not be able to create complex workflows. In n8n, we have 300 plus integrations. We have extensive library of pre-built nodes for popular applications, flexibility to connect to virtually any API, even without dedicated nodes. So n8n makes it possible to connect to any application or platform of your choice. That's where most of n8n power comes in. So there is no limit of what you can do with n8n. So in other platforms, we have limited integrations, restricted connectivity options that may not support the specific tools and services you need for your automation. So powerful capabilities, I've said it before: branching, looping, complex API calls, and AI integration. Blend of visual video with custom JavaScript or Python code. So if you are comfortable with coding or you know how to code, n8n is also very suitable for you, since you can do some things manually if you wish. But if you are not still totally fine, you can do a lot. There is no limit to what you can do. So, and others, we have basic functionalities, and there is limits to apps you can connect and a lot more. Or I prefer using n8n. So how does n8n works? I said to use the pizza analogy since it's the most popular. So it's simple. In n8n you have three major things. You'll be hearing about them more often after this video. So in n8n you have a workflow, you have nodes, and you have your execution. That's basically what makes up n8n. So in pizza, you have your recipe, you have your ingredients, and you have cooking. So what is a workflow? A workflow is a recipe. So it's a predefined sequence of actions that achieves an automated outcome, just like a recipe guides the creation of a dish. So a workflow is a predefined steps of action you take to achieve a particular outcome. So nodes is the ingredients, So in pizza, you put different ingredients together to make up pizza. So here we put different nodes together to make up a workflow. So nodes are the individual building blocks or steps within a workflow, like ingredients that come together to form the final dish. So we have in n8n we have different types of nodes, and they have, each of them have different functionalities. So you put them together to make a workflow. So what is execution? Execution is like cooking a pizza. So a single run of workflow, like cooking a pizza according to the recipe, each execution processes data through defined steps. When you run a single execution, it takes or it goes through your workflow. That is, it goes through each node to perform that specific task. So this analogy shows how n8n breaks down complex automation into manageable, interconnected parts, just like cooking a pizza. So what are the core concepts in n8n? So in n8n, we have our trigger, we have our nodes, and we have our execution. So what is trigger? Trigger is the event that initiates an n8n workflow. It's the start button that tells the workflow to begin. So trigger is basically what starts every workflow. So we have different types of trigger. We have form submission trigger, we have a new email trigger, we have a message sent trigger, we have schedule time trigger. So we will get into these triggers in future episodes. So what are nodes? Nodes are the steps or action within a workflow. They process data and interact with various services. So we have different nodes for different operations. Like we have the send email node, we have the add through to sheet node, we have the Gmail node, we have the OpenAI node. You just have like basically a lot of nodes for a particular action. So execution, a single run of a workflow. Each time a workflow is triggered and completes its steps, it counts as one execution. So in n8n, you have your workflow run, you have process completion, and you have your logs or tracked history where you see how your previous execution worked. And maybe if it failed, you will see exactly why and where it failed, and you can immediately ask the AI assistant and it will guide you or provide help. The benefits of n8n automation. So the first one is efficiency. Do 10x more with the same resources by automating repetitive tasks and freeing up human resources for higher value strategic activities. So if you automate a process or automate a particular work, you find out that your team becomes more efficient and things start going a lot better. Save money. So replace repetitive virtual assistant tasks and reduce operational costs by eliminating the need for manual labor in routine processes. So you save a lot of money by automating processes. Data clarity. Everything is tracked and logged, ensuring data movements and transactions are transparent and predictable, leading to better data quality and insights. Customer happiness. Instant replies and rapid processing of customer tasks, leading to improved satisfaction due to faster service and consistent interactions. So these are the best practices for you build, what you should have in mind to make a better workflow and become someone who builds pro-level automation. So the first thing you have to know or you should practice to be doing is map out your processes first. Before you start to build any workflow, you have to visualize, understand the kind of data you'll be processing, what the workflow should be able to do, and how you want the results to look like. So you visualize your workflow steps, identify dependencies and uncover potential issues before building. The next step is identify inputs and outputs early. So understand what data enters your workflow and what results you expect. You must have an idea of what data enters your workflow and how the results should look like. Start small. The third one is start small. Begin with simple workflows that automate a small, well-defined part of your process. You should start small. Don't try to do everything at a time. So test each step. Avoid errors. The fourth one is test each step to avoid errors early. Regularly test individual nodes and small segments as you build to identify errors proactively. So what I have noticed and what I've learned during my n8n journey is that most people that use n8n, if they add a particular node, they usually test it out so that if it doesn't work, they will know exactly why it didn't work and fix it immediately. And again, when they connect another node to the node that they just tested, they have the data to feed that node, so making the work easier to finish. The next one is keep your workflows organized. Use consistent naming conventions and logical folder structures for manageability. So this is a workflow blueprint, just what you should have in mind. So the first one is plan your automation flow before you build. Know your inputs, know how you process your data, and know what you should expect, which is your output. So if you plan well, you will build faster. So what we have learned so far, we learned why automation matters. We now know why n8n is powerful. We also understood the concepts such as the workflows, the nodes, and the triggers. We say that the workflows are like the recipes, the nodes are the ingredients and steps, and the triggers starts the execution. So we now know what automation means, and also we learned about the best practices which to follow while building your workflow. So in the next episode, we will be setting up our n8n. So you should choose whether to use the cloud version or you can host it locally in your computer.